How's it going, guys? It's Isaiah here bringing you Season 4, Week 5 Team Builder in the PMC. This is week number 5, like I said, and you can tell on the layout. And yeah, this week we were going up against Shady Mexican and the Buffalo Drills. We faced him in the IBL, or IPBL, yeah, it was the IPBL, and we won in that one, but he's definitely got an interesting team here. Very bulky, but also very scary. As you can see, he's got Charizard X, and he's got Mienshao, which I love. I love Mienshao, it's so good. He's got Manaphy, which is a big Tailgloss threat. And he's also got Sneasel, which I think is 100% coming in this match. Just because it's Ice Shard destroy mollywops. Alright, it mollywops the Gliscor and the Sceptile, and then, knock off its Jirachi hard. He could bring Poison Jab for Topical. Knockoff is also really nice for Dusclops and Porygon, being able to knock off the item. So I think Sneasel is definitely a really good bring for him in this match. But as you can see, we did make 2 transactions there. We traded out Scrafty and Golbat, and we got Sock and Cryogonal. So if we do want to, we have one more transaction. We have unlimited trades, but as far as like free agency transactions, we only have one more. But we do have, I think it's like 40 points we still have. So we could work with that. We can maybe trade out Dusclops if we don't like it. But I do like Dusclops. I think it's really reliable. And it just lives hits that it shouldn't live. that you think it shouldn't live. But anyway. Yeah, so anyway, oh my god, why am I saying anyway so much? Gee, I just said it again. Alright. So Charizard X is obviously a setup threat. It could also run like a Roost, I think it's just going to go DD, honestly. I mean, there's no real threat that can directly beat it if it gets to +1, if it gets a DD up. There are a few things on my team that can handle it, but we're going to take a lick from it, so that's not going to be fun. He's also got the Manaphy, which, again, water types really don't do much to my team. I have Blastoise to switch into him fine most of the time, but then it's mainly just, I saw Mega Slowbro and Mega Blastoise on my opponent's teams in week 3 and 4, and neither of them brought their Mega because I have Tapu Koko and Mega Sceptile, one of the most threatening electric types and one of the most threatening grass types offensively. So I don't really know if he'll bring Manaphy. He could still bring it and try to run like it is a Z move user, so he could do like a Z Rain Dance to boost his speed. And then he could run like Ice Beam for Sceptile. I don't know. It's a potential, but we have prepped for it. So if he does end up bringing it, then we'll be fine there. But anyway, he's got the Mienshao, which again is just such a big threat. I mean, from Choice Scarf to Life Orb to Choice Band, it's just reckless boost high jump kicks, or Life Orb Regenerator, U-turn out and pivot and stuff. It's really nice. He's got his fair share of bulk, with the Amoonguss, Reuniclus, potential Regenerator core there. Except with Reuniclus, since it's such a toxic magnet, it usually likes to go Magic Guard, so it doesn't get affected by that toxic. But Regenerator still could be annoying too. And then Sylveon with the Wish, really good for his team. Electros is just a very good electric type. No weaknesses, so that's nice. Unless Smackdown or Mold Breaker or something like that, and then EQ, but other than that, not really. Then he's got the Gligar and the Fortress, so you gotta run a different hidden power depending on what you want to prep for. And he's got the Quagsire, which he actually has brought, and it could be a problem. Surprisingly enough, you never know. So anyway, yeah, this should be a good game. I think with the team we have right now. Again, I might make I might make changes as the week progresses, but I think my opponent just wants to get the battle over. I mean, I asked him when he went to battle, and he's like, literally he said now, and I'm like, wait, I'm not even prepped yet, let alone Gen. So, yeah, but anyway, let's get right into this. We have the Cryogonal as our first mon. Basically, AV. I mean, I can take hits from Sylveon just fine. I can take hits from really any special mon. The only 2 special attackers really on his team are Manaphy and Sylveon that I want this thing for. Amoonguss I have something else for, trust me. But I mean, it's also nice for Reuniclus if he doesn't bring Psyshock. It's just this thing used to have, I think, base 30 defense. Now it has base 50, which is better, but it's still really physically frail. So I can't rely on this thing to take any physical hit, which is annoying. I mean, Blissey is even weaker physically defensive, but it has so much HP. Cryogonal does not have that much HP. But you know, I mean, with this set, you know, freeze dry, I can switch into Manaphy just every time, right? And unless it brings like a physical set, which would be crazy. But if he doesn't do that, if he brings like a tail glow set, I can switch into this thing just fine, even though I'm offensive. I'll outspeed it by 1 point. That's what the speed's there for. And I'll be able to go for the freeze dry, which, if you didn't know, it's an ice type move, but it's actually super effective against water types. So that's really effective, and especially against Quagsire. I didn't mean to open this, but okay, just close. All right, good. But yeah, especially against Quagsire, I can 4 times hit that thing 4 times super effective because it's super effective against ground, and then also super effective against water. But then we have Ice Beam. We could have gone Rapid Spin, but I didn't really feel like I needed it on this mon because I would have changed it back. Basically, we're bringing Blastoise, so I didn't need 2 Rapid Spinners, I felt. So yeah, Hidden Power Fire obviously for the Fortress. I think overall this thing can really do a number to my opponent's team. If he runs like an Adamant Manchow, we can outspeed that. We'll outspeed Charizard before it gets to +2. Flash Cannon hits the Sylveon pretty hard, so and the Sneasel. So if that thing's adamant too, that's a possibility. But this thing's really good. I'm glad I picked it up because, you know, I mean, it just helps with our speed even more. You know, I mean, Scrafty, I traded Scrafty for Sawk, so that gives us more speed, and then I traded Golbat for Cryogonal, which gives us even more. I mean, we have a fast-ass team at this point, which makes people run Timid and Jelly, which makes them not as strong, so that's really useful. And even if they do run Timid and Jelly, sometimes we'll still outspeed, and you know, just outspeeding things is so useful in this game. Anyway, next up is Jirachi Safety Goggles to switch into Amoonguss basically freely every single time. Alright, so we have Stealth Rocks, Zen Headbutt, Iron Head, and Fire Punch. I initially actually had Substitute, but I changed that out because I could set up on Fortress unless it has EQ. There's really not anything else that I would really be able to set up on except for Amoonguss. And if he'll switch out into Jirachi and I'll get a Zen Headbutt off, but realistically, if I switch this thing into Amoonguss, I'm probably going to click Stealth Rocks predicting the switch. And I was thinking about U-turn, but then I'm like, you know, I just want to go Rocks because his hazard removal is pretty slim. He's got Rapid Spin, Fortress, and Defog Gligar, and that's it. So he'll probably bring Gligar, or Fortress, or both. But if that's completely fine. He might not bring Fortress, you know. If he brings Gligar and Defog, you know, it's just fine. It's fine if he brings Defog. It's fine. Max speed, so we can speed tie the 2 base 100s in Charizard X and Manaphy. And yeah, we're just gonna be offensive with this. Fire Punch obviously hits the Fortress. Zen Head plus Iron Head. I mean, you know, if we can get the flinches, it's gonna be really good. So yeah. Next up is Topical. He's also got other than Sneasel, he's got a pretty slow-ish team. He's got Sneasel, Mienshao, Manaphy, and Charizard X. Everything else is below base 100 and significantly below. Like the next mon is like, I think it's Sylveon at 65 or something like that, and everything else is like base 50 or lower. So that's really nice. But anyway, so we have Topical here with the Topunium Z. Topunium Z. It just sounds weird, so whatever. HP Ice, basically for the Gligar, also for the Amoonguss, mainly for the Amoonguss actually, because we get Nature's Madness, and with the Z move here, we'll do 75% to anything. That's gonna be really useful against. Also in Electric Terrain, we can't fall asleep, so that's really nice. And if he wants to Sludge Bomb, we can probably live that one with our HP investment. We can live one of them, and I mean, if he switches this thing in, and I go for like a Thunderbolt or Dazzling Gleam or whatever, and then I go for Nature's Madness, I know it has Regenerator, but it's gonna force him to switch, and that's what's important. And if Reuniclus doesn't have Regenerator, then I can Toxicate with something else on my team. But if it does have Regenerator, then it'll, even if it has Magic Guard and it doesn't get affected by Toxic, then it doesn't have Regenerator, so I can get that 75% off with the Nature's Madness, and that'll be really nice. And then Thunderbolt will be good. Same with, actually, Gligar, I just go for HP Ice, but you know, just in general, it's really nice. And Sylveon. Sylveon is definitely getting 75% off on that thing is gonna be really nice. Same with like Quagsire if he switches that thing in on this thing. Because I could have brought Grass Knot, but I don't think it's really worth it. So you know, just for Quagsire, I don't think it's useful. Like I have this thing, and he might bring Waterfall, but I also have Blastoise to take that. So anyway, we do have Blastoise here, physically defensive with Rapid Spin, Roar, Toxic, and Scald. This is basically my Charizard X switch-in-ish, because we can Roar if he tries to D-Dance, we can Rapid Spin. I was thinking about going Dragon Tail, but Sylveon could be a good switch into this thing, and I want to be able to Toxic that thing. And Roar, I mean, Dragon Tail is nice for chip damage, but that's alright, mate. As this thing's also good for Mienshao. I don't know if I can take 2 hits, depending on the set, I could be able to take 2 hits, but I have no reliable recovery. With the Rocky Helmet, you know, it's at least I'm getting damage off on things like Sneasel if it tries to knock off. We'll get damage off on that. Mienshao if it tries to U-turn. You know, if I predict a Flare Blitz and go into this thing from Charizard X, that'll be nice. But yeah, and then Toxic basically it hits everything. Gligar could run Immunity. He does have a fair amount of Toxic switch-ins like Fortress and Gligar and Reuniclus if it has Magic Guard. And then I think I already said Amoonguss. Gligar gets hit by Scald. Fortress gets hit by Scald. The other Reuniclus and Amoonguss I can just roar out, I guess. But we'll basically Hero Phase and wall things and hopefully try to get hazards off the field. So this thing has a pretty big role in this matchup. Next up is Lycanroc. Enough speed to outspeed Mienshao, and if we outspeed if he's not Scarf Mienshao and he doesn't get the +2 with Charizard and he doesn't get the +1 or +1, basically if he has no speed boosting on his team, then this thing will outspeed his entire team. Other than Fake Out from Mienshao, which would by the way boost our speed. With Steadfast, it'll boost our speed if we get flinched. So that's really the moot point unless we are at 1 HP with the Focus Sash, but if we are, then whatever. And that's like the only, and then Ice Charge Sneasel, that's the only priority on his team. So this thing looks really nice. I mean, we have Stone Edge, or Swords Dance, Fire Fang, Stone Edge, and Accelerock. So if we get things whittled like Gligar, if we get that whittled, if we break Fortress's stash, we break its sash, hopefully if it's physically defensive and it wants to take on Jirachi and Lycanroc and Sawk and shit like that, you know, I'm hoping it'll go physically defensive, because that would, you know, validate Fire Fang more, because I was kind of thinking about running something else. I don't really know what else I'd run. I mean, this thing doesn't get much coverage, but honestly, I mean, Stone Edge is running. I mean, Fire Fang, I think Stone Edge will do more to Amoonguss than Fire Fang, but if I know that Fire Fang will kill, I'll just go for that because it has less of a chance to miss. It does have 95% accuracy, so it has a chance to miss, but Stone Edge has a much higher chance to miss. It has 80%, so, you know, I mean, we just want to try to get an SD up and then hopefully sweep. And again, if he brings in Mienshao and fakes us out, that'll boost our speed, and that's going to be amazing, so whatever. And Mienshao isn't the bulkiest thing in the world, so I'd imagine if we get a good amount of damage on that thing and we get an SD up, Stone Edge will be able to pick up the kill against that. I mean, this thing's just incredibly good against my opponent's team. Only thing is that freaking Quagsire. Let's hope that doesn't come, because that could wall this thing. But yeah. Last but not least, we have Gliscor. Physically defensive, enough speed to outspeed Manaphy or Charizard X if they have no speed investment. So, you know, that's just nice. Knock off EQ, Taunt, and Roost. We want to taunt the Amoonguss. I don't think he'll run HP Ice, because he could already Sludge Bomb the Sceptile, so I don't really know if I think if any hidden power is coming, it'll be hidden power Fire. I could see like Spore, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, and HP Fire. Maybe Synthesis instead of HP Fire. I'm hoping he doesn't bring HP Fire. I'm hoping he just doesn't bring any hidden power. But Taunt is nice because it stops Reuniclus from setting up. It stops, or I wouldn't switch into maybe. It stops Sylveon from wishing. It stops Fortress. Like if we lead off with this thing, we just go for Taunt against Gliscor. That's gonna be amazing. Same with Gligar. Only thing is if Gligar wants to knock off, that's kind of annoying. Turn 1, and we don't have Protect. But yeah, knock off and I mean, same thing with us. We can knock off the Eviolite from Gligar, which would be amazing. We can knock off Reuniclus. We can just knock off any item. That's gonna be really nice. And then EQ the Charizard X. So that should be good to go. Hopefully we win this. It should be a good game. I know Shady's a good battler, but or Shady Mexican, not Shady Penguin. I wish we were facing Shady Penguin. No, he doesn't play anymore. But yeah, against Shady Mexican, it should be a good game. I mean, he's got a good team. I'm hoping that I can get the best of him with, you know, things like the Tapu Koko and the Lycanroc and the Jirachi. I'm hoping Cryogonal will work out though. That would be really nice. But main game plan, we're just trying to get up rocks, keep them on the field. I know I can't stop rapid spin because I didn't bring my spin blocker Dusclops, but if we can keep the rocks on the field, then we'll be, and we can keep, our win cons, and we should be good to go. I mean, I'm really excited to try Cryogonal. I tried to get Stock on the team, but it just didn't have the matchup this time. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.